I think people don't realize that it's not the actual event which begins the difficulties. It's before the event. My experience was with my wife being diagnosed with glioblastoma multiforme grade 4, which is a brain tumor, in 2010. And people think that it's only after that you need support. But to be honest, your life changes the moment the diagnosis comes in. And my son was 11 at the time. His mother was diagnosed. The moment something happens in a family, everybody backs off. वही लोग जो आपको फ़ोन करके कहते हैं ना, वो जी आप फिक्र ना करें जी, किसी चीज़ की ज़रूरत है हमें फ़ोन कर दिया करें, एयरपोर्ट से आपको लेना हम ले लिया करेंगे, जिस दिन आप फ़ोन करेंगे ना कि मैं एयरपोर्ट पे आ गया हूँ, कोई है नहीं इधर, अच्छा मुश्किल है अभी तो गाड़ी नहीं है. So this is our cultural norm, that we are basically always talking the talk, but I've never seen us walk the talk. All I wanted was to meet with a group of people who'd been through similar experiences and talk to them. But there's no such group. Your GP in England, for example, when my father passed away, the local GP came to see my mother, just to ask her how she was doing. Either they don't even know what PCGS is. Primary caregiver syndrome, it's just something made up on the internet. Really, I'd like to see you go through it. Very competent. And she told me that you're going to go through this problem. And if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't have known what to do. Because she said, you'll go through it and your son will go through it. And with great difficulty, then a friend finally found somebody who was willing to speak to my son, etc. मैंने informally बड़ी कोशिश की थी to set up a group with like-minded people. But everybody was bringing in so much baggage. And trying to get people together, on a Saturday, just Saturday को मिल लेते थे 1 घंटे के लिए. Impossible. Always there's an excuse. So I was on my own, and believe it or not, the only person I used to share with was my son. Now we developed a bond, but I think it's very unfair on him. Oh, because if you talk about it all, everybody thinks that you're a weak man. I don't think there's any weakness in talking about personal issues. I think it's a sign of strength. A man who can actually share is much, for me, is somebody I would respect much more. Depression doesn't come about just because you're feeling low. Depression can also arise because something very good has happened. My son passed his O levels, he's done his A levels, he's at University College, he's at King's College London now, studying physics. And I think about it, his mother would have loved to see him there. ये जो हमारे issues हैं ना, इसके लिए आपको specialized लोग लाने पड़ेंगे who are willing to share, sit there and listen. That's all somebody wants, is just for you to listen. And I'm equally willing to listen. So my attempts at both professional counseling and setting up an informal group of my own ended in utter and complete failure. I gave up after that and I just relied on myself. I don't mind talking about it at all. I never found anybody to talk to when the time was there. So I do hope whatever you guys are able to do, it's successful. Because I think it's badly needed in this country. What you're doing is a support system, and we don't have it.
We're called the support group, actually.
Yeah, we don't have it. And that is the key. The key word is actually, it's not therapy. The key word is support, which nobody seems to understand here. We got anything. So we're really bad at that. We're bad at divorce counseling, we're bad at grief counseling, because we don't understand it's all about support. Hope. Don't give up. There's hope. There are other people out there, and hopefully through your organization, people will be in touch.